I do wonder though, Josh, whether writing an entire little book about alchemy was somebody's worst day at their job or their favorite day at their job.
That's what I'm saying.
Because I could believe either. I could believe that your manager hands you, like, hey, we need books about alchemy, and, like, you have no idea how real alchemy works or fictional alchemy, and you don't want to write 4 pages of made-up crap about it. But I can also see somebody being the most excited in the world to get to make up the rules about fictional alchemy in a video game world.
If I could write Dragon Age staves flavor text, I would be the happiest person alive. I would die happy. You could put on my tombstone that I wrote a staff flavor text for Dragon Age, a single one. I would be so happy. That sounds fucking amazing.
My experience of coming up with stuff like that is it's really fun to come up with these kind of to come up with these kind of internal systems, but writing it within a dry academic in-universe style is kind of grinding.
At least the flavor text in Dragon Age is actually fun. They tell little stories. Here, not so much.
Like in tabletop role-playing games, I really often like going into sort of the mechanics of how the magic system works, but the rule I always use is that, like, I have to talk about it like I'm trying to explain something to an actual, like I'm actually trying to explain a real-world concept to somebody, where I'm not gonna just be like, in the Third Age, there was, I mean, alright, so there's this guy, right? So he's like this, but it doesn't work like that, because this. I'm just, like, borrowing every analogy I could use until I'm using 12 of them in a single sentence.
Okay. So, it's less about, I would rather write flavor text. I don't know if I'd want to write. I think I would probably die if I tried to write an Oblivion or Skyrim book. That's fair, because I died just trying to read that.
I feel like anybody who gets, like, a full-time job writing this stuff, though, is going to run into those, like, topics where you have to flesh out the world with bits that you either don't care about or actively kind of find annoying to write about. Like, if it's not the magic system and it's not alchemy, it might be writing extensively about someone's expertise in lockpicking or fishing or herbology or whatever. Like, there's going to be some aspect of this big simulated world that has a corresponding thing in real life that you find tedious and boring, but now you have to write 4 pages about it.
It depends on, like, how much of a storyteller you're allowed to be. If it truly is like, first you take the calcium and then you put it on the transector, grab your glass, blah blah blah, or if it's like, there is this one alchemist and he blew himself trying to do this, don't do this. Like, that is fun.
What?
That's right, he did. Woo!
That sounds like an Alembic stunt.
Well, now I'm real interested in writing these stories.
I'm saying you can make them fun. I mean, I'm telling you, I've read, like, every single Dragon Age staff flavor text, and some of them are fucking amazing. And it's like, that part of the job is great. But writing just bullshit, I'm sure that's hard.
There are some books in the Elder Scrolls series that teach you skills that do that sort of thing. Like, there's,
Thief!
There's a book I remember from... There's also, like, a book I remember from Morrowind, which is about, like, using heavy armor, which is about a dude who, like, sneaks really well in heavy armor, and the first half of it is, like, how did he get somewhere? And it's like he walked on his hands and was able to walk silently. Oh, and then he fucked in it, and guess what? He fucked silently, too.
Is that real?
Yeah, that's 100% real. Like, it was a little cutesy, like, they're like, oh, but how did he, but we didn't, oh, you're even in his armor? Like, yeah, it was innuendo, but, like, it's very obvious what they were implying.
That shit rules. That is the awesome stuff. I think if you're allowed to make it awesome like that, then it's a great job to have.
You know, this actually reminds me, you were talking about pointless mods. Well, I did, when I was doing Skyrim VR, which requires a ton of mods, one mod I thought would be interesting to install is a mod where they basically had a bunch of voice actors, I guess on Fiverr or whatever, read all of the books in Skyrim so you could have them in audiobook format and you could listen to them while doing other stuff. And I would do it, and I just completely tuned all of them out, and I have no idea what any of them said or what any of them were even about. Mace. Do I want that mace? Mace burning. A torn sack of grain. Huh. For a cult, I gotta say the loot here has not been fantastic. It's been way better than the loot in most places, but come on.
This is the real reason why. Like, as much as we talk about the grind vis-a-vis like the combat system and the leveling system being bad, I would actually say one of the worst things about Oblivion is that the loot is so unrewarding. It's like, if it's not the level scaled armor and weapons on a person, it's just like it's bullshit. And it's not like bullshit it's like, you know how in Fallout 4 there's like a ton of detritus that you can use to like make gun parts or whatever? Yeah. It's like that, except it's literally pointless.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate.
And it's 90% of the loot.
So, Cameron is out in paradise, but we've killed like 30 or 40 cult members. Is the cult effectively dismantled now, other than the fact that the cult leader still exists?
No. Not even remotely.
Of course not. There's an arbitrary number of cult leaders. There always is.
In fact, this doesn't really do anything except that we succeeded in stealing the Mysterium Xerxes. And we're going to take it back to Sean Bean and have him do stuff with it.
Is this where we hand him the book and then he tells us to fuck off for a little while and close some Oblivion gates and then we come back after he's read it?
We don't actually have to close any Oblivion gates in the process, but yes, this is what that is.
Can we literally
probably?
You know what? I'm just going to drop that.
I know we're probably not supposed to, but I actually feel really weird about the fact that we've apparently been sending people to super hell. Like, does that not trip anybody else out? Like,
are we sending
they
people
signed
there?
up for it?
Yeah, but like, they didn't know what they were getting into. And like, yeah, they were doing evil shit, but like, I don't know if there is a offense you could commit in the mortal life that really entitles you to an eternity of that kind of suffering. I guess we're getting into actual theological territory here.
Yeah, I mean, like, hey.
So, at the risk of bringing that subject up at the 11th hour, where does the idea that, like, contracts are, like, binding for your immortal soul, when did that start as a conception, right? Like, making a deal with the devil is such it's basically a pact that, like, can bind you.
Easy.
That those sort of what is there a?
It's the Disney movie Hercules. It's in that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Wait, are you saying that's where the first notion of contracts being
actually,
unbreakable came
Faust
from?
is actually an adaptation of Disney's Hercules.
It's true.
Actually, it's interesting you bring up Hercules because, I think the answer to that is, why can't I open that door? What the fuck? I think the answer to that is it extends beyond probably recorded history. Like, certainly the Greeks had a very strong notion that if you made an oath and then you broke it, like, that was an incredibly bad thing to do, and the gods would curse you for doing that. Where is Jalis?
I feel like this is a topic that I have a lot of approximate knowledge of, and what I've been doing so far in this episode is just going ahead and talking about all that stuff anyway.
There is an ancient song about two bards who met a devil on the road, and the devil told them that they had to play the greatest song in the world, or they would have their souls taken from them. And so they did it. They played the greatest song in the world.
Is that song
but they
recorded?
don't remember
like, is there a copy of it? Oh, so,
no,
so
they don't remember
recorded
it.
version.
Tribute.
They don't remember the greatest
Wow.
song in the world. They could only write a tribute song to it.
Oh, I see.
Ancient story for you guys.
Oh, but the tribute song, did it shred?
Oh, fuck yeah, Trent.
Oh, okay. We're great.
Jealous. Where'd you go, buddy?
I just wonder what the boundaries of that are. Like, this is my, like, rules lawyer coming out. Like, could a devil or a demon so inclined, like, hold a stack of papers that bind your soul to forever mega hell in perpetuity, and he just holds them up without letting you read them, and if he just says, like, casually, you agree to this? And if you just go, yeah, does that count, or do you need to, like, have read and understand and consented to the like...
I'm so glad you asked
Generally,
that.
you have to understand.
No, there's this ancient story about a man from space who sold his own hands for devil hands that could play a special instrument for his special lady. And he was not very smart, and I don't think he read the contract that good.
But did he end up going to robot hell, or did just his hands?
He had
I
to
can't
go to
remember.
robot hell to talk to the devil and like figure. I haven't seen that episode in a while.
But they just escape, right? Like I mean, I guess technically that's what.
No,
we do
he
in
got his
Super
hands
Mega Hell in this game.
back. I forgot how. I think he got his hands back because the devil liked another pair of hands more or something like that. So you can re-trick.
So did he have 4 hands?
No, he got his regular hands back.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
As of, like, let's say 3 or 4 years after I graduated college, I would say that I had watched with my eyeballs perhaps a dozen max episodes of Futurama. And I had experienced 90% of the rest of Futurama's runtime, word for word, just from like 2 or 3 friends quoting it.
I mean, that's
Welcome.
been my experience with like Monty Python, for which I have never seen a single thing, but I know all the jokes.
Is that still cool with the kids? If you're watching this and you're a Zoomer, do you know what Monty Python is, and is it cool to you? Because it was very cool to millennials.
I actually also
Was
wonder
it?
this.
Also very
like,
cool to Gen X.
Because like every Dungeons and Dragons player back in like every millennial and Gen X D&D player grew up quoting Monty Python and the Holy Grail
Yeah.
around the table. That's like the standard. I kind of wonder, like, is that still a thing? Do,
Okay,
like,
when I say
Zoomers-
cool, I mean not cool kids like it. I would say like nerdy kids can quote it verbatim. That definitely happened among millennials for sure.
No, it's like alt comics cool.
Yeah.
I don't know where J-List went, but I can't find his corpse, so I'm assuming he
I mean, if you're a
escaped.
Zoomer watching this for some reason, goodness knows what you're getting out of this show generally, but and you haven't seen
Do you just like listening to old people talk?
old people playing old games? Because, like, let's face it, at this point, pretty much everything we play is an old game by Zoomer standards. Like, Borderlands 2, Heavy Rain, Bioshock Infinite. Yeah, like,
Shocking.
Mystic Messenger?
anyway. Yeah, go ahead and watch Monty Python The Holy Grail if you haven't. It's a great movie.
Please show your respect for the. All
I actually think, like, that's one of those comedies where it's like, if you genuinely haven't seen that, that is, like, that's kind of a blessing. Like, that's kind of like, oh, you get to do that for the first time. I always like to try to be there when people see movies like that for the first time. Yeah.
That's what we call a dangerous banger, though, Rutsguard. Do you know the concept of dangerous bangers?
Oh, like where if you play it and you just look at them and they're not feeling it, like your whole life is ruined?
I mean, that's part of it, but a dangerous banger is a movie or something that you remember was really awesome, and then you go back and watch it again, and it's not awesome anymore. I think Monty Python and the Holy Grail could be a dangerous banger. I think it has a possibility for it.
I want to say I watched it fairly recently, and I thought it held up well.
Okay, that's a relief, honestly.
Don't jump.
Jeez.
Don't do
The
that.
other movie, the movie, honestly, that's like that the most for me, not dangerous banger, but just like, yeah, I if somebody hasn't seen this, hell yeah, let's fucking go, is Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz over Shaun of the Dead? What's wrong with you?
Actually, yeah. Yeah, I know.
What?
But I genuinely Hot Fuzz over Shaun of the Dead.
I would
Hot
also agree
Fuzz-
with that.
Hot Fuzz like really gets too weird in the like third act though, and it doesn't recover
That's
for
the best
me.
part of it.
No, it gets way too weird. Like the beginning part like makes sense and like I get the jokes, but then like 2/3 of the way in, it just gets fucking wild.
Well, that's to me.
I also
That's
think
it.
that
like that's the thing that sells it is that like it spends this whole time like sort of stopping on the brake pedal and revving the engine, and then suddenly, just when you think it's like you think you understand how this works, it just takes off and tears off running.
Oh man,
Yeah.
no.
I also think I like Simon Pegg playing the straight man
Horrible creatures.
more.
See you. Be seeing
That's
you.
fair.
Do you need something? What's going on with you?
Let's sleep for a minute.
He does a fantastic
What
job
do you-
of playing a dude who's like just never believed in Santa Claus.
Good day.
Yeah.
In a way that's like still surprisingly like kind of warm and relatable, I think.
Wow, we
I
hit everything, but not well. Sorry, continue.
I was gonna say an example for those who are listening. A dangerous banger for me was Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. When I was a teenager, that movie fucking ruled. And then I watched it as an adult, and I hated it. And I wonder if it's just because I'm an adult now or whatever, but I just was so annoyed by every single character in that movie. But when I was a teenager, I was just like, yeah, this is really about real stuff.
I've avoided that movie just because it has that
Thank
reputation.
Talos you've returned safely.
That's the most
you have the
dangerous
amulet?
banger.
Please tell me you have some good news. Ah,
Yes,
good.
Boris is dead.
take that
Oh
to
wait,
Martin
shit, you
right
meant
away.
good for you.
He'll be in the Great Hall reading. He's hardly taken time to sleep since you left. You should talk to Martin.
Boris.
He will not be forgotten. He goes to Aetherius to join the other fallen heroes of the
He
Blade.
goes to Aetherius to join the other fallen
I
hero of the
thank you
Blades.
for
I thank you for recovering
recovering
his
his
sword.
will
Don't
set it in
thank
a
me.
place
Don't
of
thank me for
honor in the
recovering
great
it.
hall of Cloud
I'm
River
gonna
Temple.
keep it in a place of honor next to all of my potatoes and corn.
He served with
And then I'm gonna keep it in a place of even bigger honor in the weaponsmith in the Imperial City.
Ah, you're back. I told Joe.
And I'm going to spend the
Shambi,
money
can you
honoring
read
him
your
with
books?
a shitload of lottery
Out
scratchers.
of the amulet, did you? By the nine, such a thing is dangerous even to handle. Forgive me. You were right to bring it,
Shambi.
but you better give it to me. I know some ways to protect myself from its evil power. I don't know. Maybe.
You okay,
I
Rescar?
suspect that the secret
Just,
of how to
I just that line was so fucking abrupt. It's just like he bass boosted himself for one line emotionally, and then immediately recovered.
I'll have to proceed carefully.
I wonder if they also
In
did
the
the
meantime, you should
celebrity
speak to
voice
Joffrey.
lines in
He's
alphabetical
concerned about
order.
reports of spies in
It
Brooklyn.
did read like it. He's just like, what the fuck are you doing with that?
I
I'm
put
sorry for
aside
my
the
temper.
dark
I lost my
arts when I
temper. But
became
yes,
a
that is very
priest.
dangerous. You should give it to me.
The workings of fate may be
He
seen.
does
in
have the backstory that explains
Gods
this, where
can turn
like he
anything to
was when he was an
So
edgy
I
teenager, he
told
was
those who
into
came
like
to see me for
Daedra
advice.
worship shit.
Perhaps I may yet come to believe it myself.
It's a phase everyone, all the teenagers in Cyrodiil go through.
Was written by Mehrunes Dagon himself.
I think think that
given by him.
Martin Septim is actually a pretty decent
I
character,
believe Manka Cameron
at least
used to
conceptually.
create his paradise.
Like he
It should
so
be
his lines are
belongs to
often pretty good.
obligate there ourselves.
Sean Bean
I will
does,
continue studying it.
you know, Sean Bean does the work.
It is now clear to me.
It
that
just
the
seems kind of
only way
wasted
to
because it
stop
feels like the video
Oblivion
game happens
invasion
around
is
Martin
to
Septim.
relight the dragon fires. Emperor, amulet.
It
and
just kind of
dragon
seems like he's
fire.
occasionally an
With
interesting
these
perspective to
divine gifts,
consult while the plot of
danger
Oblivion
and
happens.
rebellion have been kept
Yeah.
at bay for thousands of years.
It's kind of just
While
like
the
every
dragon
conversation
fires
with him
burn,
feels a little bit
The
like
divine
a
barriers
newspaper
kept
just
the
like doing a
danger
local
and
interest
making more
story
than fleeting
on
visits
how
to
all
our
this is
world.
affecting the heir
But
of
the dragon
the
fires
throne
can
of
only be
Tamriel.
lit by an heir of the Septim blood.
Yeah, I mean, he ends up
Wielding
just
the
spending
kingdom.
most of the game here.
This was the essence of Manka Cameron's plot. He was undone only by the merest chance. But his complete victory remains perilously close. We must recover the Amulet of Kings and relight the dragon fires before it is too late to stem Dagon's invasion.
Anyway, we're well over time now, so.
I hope to have at least part,
Oh, we
I'm
can-
sorry
we
for all
can
the
still
stupid
just
shit
read
that I
this
said
to
this week.
Xerxes.
part of an
Me too.
Xerxes translated in a few days. Speak to Joffrey about
I think we've all said some things
Come
we
on with
regret.
the fire.
Listen, this is I can't give this apology every week.
Uh-oh.
Oh, god damn it, Josh. At the end, really?
Stuck in the fireplace.
Josh, you fucking moron. You dumb shit. I don't take.
Okay.
You know what? I might be
You
ashamed
know-
of the things I said earlier, but I'm not ashamed of calling you a dumb shit.
This is cool. I can do this. Now I've escaped.
Into the
Hey, Martin,
undercroft.
what's up?
Ah, god damn! You could.
What's going on?
That was
You're
a good.
in a
That was a good.
man. You're inside
That
a
was a
man.
good bench test for how
Lorem
good everybody's
ipsum!
internet is. Oh shit, that is lorem ipsum. Damn, this game was not meant to be viewed at this high resolution.
You're inside him.
You word him like a fucking slanket.
Bye, everybody.